Howdy. I'm waiting for my next load to come through. Should be any minute now. They've been sending me back and forth kind of a short distance today, and it's been kind of funny. It's me and another driver chasing each other because we're going back and forth from the same sourcing to like the same fuel rack to the same delivery. Each time I need him to help me load because I'm not carded there yet, so he has to load with me under his number. And then when we come back here, I get here first, and he has to wait until there's room in the tanks for him to unload. So it's this little cat and mouse game, but it's going fine. He's a real sweetheart. Every time I've dealt with him, he's just a really nice guy. Hi, Tim, if you happen to see this. So I've been having a hankering for some homemade lemonade, so I actually bought a couple of lemons at the Wally Mart yesterday, and I wanted to get some fresh mint and make like a little fancy basil mint drink, but they didn't have any mint. They were sold out. And it's such a funny thing to think about, because if I had like an herb garden that I could actually tend to, mint grows like a weed. I always daydream about like if there was a way to like grow little pots in my windows or something. I think about that sometimes, but I got basil in lieu. So lemon basil with some raw sugar and some ice water, and got the little cubes of ice in the loaves from the soda machine. I'm gonna shake it up real good, and it's gonna be like a little fancy lemonade drink, so we'll see how it turns out. Oh, and the way I'm gonna put the basil in it to make it not so I'm getting chunks of like little pieces of basil in my mouth. I'm not gonna like finely chop it. I'm gonna roll it up and basically bruise it between my hands just like this. That smells so nice. And I'm just gonna throw it right in there and shake it up, and the ice will help to like muddle the basil oil, I guess, into the water, and it's gonna give it a subtle flavor. It would be better if you could do something with a strainer, or better yet, make some kind of a simple syrup, but I'm in a truck and that's not practical for me right now. But yes, I've been daydreaming. I'm like, you know what, when I'm home, I'm gonna make some mint simple syrup, and I'm gonna make my homemade lemonades in the truck, because there's lemonade in the dispenser, but I don't like that lemonade as much. It's probably made with high fructose corn syrup, which obviously isn't ideal for not getting diabetes, but it also doesn't taste as good. I like stuff that's not overly sweetened and like really lets natural flavors come through. If I'm gonna make a drink like this, I want it to taste fresh, light, citrusy. It's making my mouth water thinking about it, so let me get on with it. All right, we got all the stuff in there. Let's give it a shake. Just covering up the lid so it doesn't make a mess anywhere. This is my shaker cup now, apparently. All right, let's see what we came up with here. Could be a little more lemony. I can't really get the basil though. I guess it's not enough maybe. It is really refreshing though. I only use 4 packets of sugar in the raw for this size. It's not really enough. You really need a simple syrup to get the full effect. But as I get down to the bottom of it, that's when I'm probably going to get more of the flavor. All right, hopefully they'll get me on a load in a minute here, and I'll be back on my way. In the meantime, I'm enjoying standing up and letting my back rest from the sitting. It makes my back cry. Howdy y'all, I'm waiting to load at a rack, and it's funny how to see the reaction of the men here when they see a woman. They can't hide it. They're all like because there just aren't that many women out here doing this, which is why you, if you're a lady, should come out here and haul some fuel. Make this money, my friends. Make this money. Yeah, that's a big reason. Like these coveralls are men's sized, so they're too big for me. That's a big reason why I'm in a much better mood these days, because I'm getting paid properly for the work that I'm doing, for the time that I'm putting in, for a change. After 2 years of spinning my wheels, that's a bad pun. But I'm just wanted to share really quick. I'm making something to eat while I wait for this guy to load. And one of the mistakes that I've made as a driver in terms of like maintaining my energy level is not eating enough protein. And I snack all day long, which I eat twice as much at least while I'm trucking than when I'm off, when I'm not on the road. It's how I like manage my energy. It's really weird. It's really different. And what's funny is when I'm home, my energy level is kept higher because I'm moving around. And when I'm sitting for long periods of time while I'm driving, it makes me much more tired. It's just the sitting itself makes me tired. So I eat more, and a lot of times I eat fruit, which I'm not normally a huge fruit eater, but when I'm trucking, I eat fruit all day long. I eat a lot of those little clementines and stuff. The acidity and the sweetness help. The fiber is good for you because sitting for long periods of time is very hard on your digestive system. I drink lots of water, which makes me have to stop more than I want to because I have to pee too much. TMI, but you know, just reality. But I've been getting salmon and tuna packets, and those are a good way. I try not to eat a ton of tuna because it's very high in mercury. It's not the healthiest thing, but it is a convenience food, and I like these little packets. I actually am gonna try to crunch up some tortilla chip in this one, just a little bit, just for something different. I had these Cermak tortilla chips. I bought this huge bag, and I don't know what to do with them because I never eat. I could never sit and eat like a bag of chips that size. That was the only size they had, and I wanted some guac and salsa. But yeah, I'm just mixing some tuna with a little bit of mayo and chili garlic sauce and a little mustard. So basically, this is salmon actually, but I do tuna or salmon and get a little protein that way. Another thing that I did is I bought some smoked salmon. I love smoked salmon. I ate one of those, just a fillet. It's funny because you think about what kind of food could be fast food. This is something I can eat really quick before I get back out on the road. That's an easy one. So just a thought for you. Yeah, this guy's almost done loading, so it'll be my turn, and then I get to get back on the road for a couple more hours. That's about it, but everything's going well. Can't complain. I drove in a thunderstorm this morning. It was beautiful, and I don't mind it. It wasn't too crazy to me. It actually keeps other people off the road, so there are fewer drivers. That to me makes me feel safer. And when I got to my unload, it was just raining, and it wasn't raining very hard, so that was perfect. So catch you guys later. What's up, friends? Just some more Bald Trucker Lady Chronicles for you here. I'm sitting at a Freightliner shop. My truck is about to get a repair because I had noticed an air leak in the air dryer the other day. And it was really weird because it wasn't happening consistently, it seemed like. I noticed it when it was running, but not when the truck was turned off. At one point it was happening when the truck was turned off, then it wasn't. It was really weird. And the truck is maintaining pressure. So that's why I've still been driving it without it getting looked at, and I knew I was about to get what they call a mid-trip inspection. There's going to be DOT inspections happening at weigh stations starting Monday. So it's the kind of thing where you need to get your inspections done ahead of time. You can go to Love's to do that, /Speedco. Spam. But yeah, I knew I had to get an inspection. Today was my last opportunity to do it. I tried yesterday. Both of the places I went it's like a crapshoot. You guys know how it is. And sorry, it happened to be a time when both of the places I was running through were busy, and I couldn't get in, and I would have had to sit and wait for a couple of hours maybe or more. And I was I was in go mode. When I'm working, I'm trying to get where I'm trying to cover those miles, get those loads in. I want to be efficient. So I was like, okay, tomorrow's the day. That it's a Sunday today, which feels weird because now that I've been working through my 70, 34, doing I think I did 34 and a half hours on my 34, went right back to it. My sense of what day it is even more confused. So today it feels like Tuesday to me because I just started yesterday back from my 34. But anyway, today is a Sunday, so I knew it would be a little bit easier to get in, and luckily I got in. I was on my way to pick up my first load, and thankfully I didn't go there first and then go back. So I went into the shop, and they're like, yeah, you need to replace the air dryer because it's still under warranty. And I was like, ugh. And they're like, and they're all on national back order. Well, very good luck on my part, good timing, luck, you know how it is. I keep saying that. I showed up to this Freightliner and they said, yes, it is on national back order, but we have one here and we can do it today. I'm like, okay, that's amazing. Now my boss says it might end up taking longer than they said it would, which again, you guys know how it is. So that doesn't surprise me. I take that back. I did go to a Freightliner once when I was on the flatbed job, but that was like an in and out type of thing. This is something that has to be done that takes a little more time. So I'm actually waiting on another driver because they're going to give me some type of truck swap task in between. So I'm going to be taking a ride with this other driver down to another location to grab a truck that has to come back up here. Hopefully by then my truck will be ready to roll, and I'll just stay in my truck, I guess, tonight or something. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. That gives me some anxiety. It's weird how in some ways I embrace unpredictability. That's one of the things you have to do as a truck driver. Well, depending on what you do. Certain jobs you can probably expect a little more predictability. And these days, the jobs I've been, the loads I've been doing, it's been very routine, back and forth. It's gotten a little bit monotonous. That's fine. At least it's like I know what to expect. I know exactly where I'm going to hit traffic most of the time. I know how long the trip is going to take. It's like everything becomes pretty streamlined. But I don't like unpredictability when it comes to where I'm gonna sleep and like where my toiletries are located, and like I'm very, very particular about my home environment and the way things go in my home, and this is my home, so that stresses me out a little bit, but I just trust everything is going to be fine. I'm really grateful I'm going to be able to get this repair, and I'm looking forward to riding with another driver, because that's always an interesting experience. Sometimes you have good conversations with people. Hopefully this person is cool, so I'm sure he will be. Everyone I've met at this company pretty much has been really cool, so I will see what happens. That's today's saga. Talk to you later.
Good morning from my new truck. Check it. I don't know if that gave you a good enough view. I'm just kidding, it's not my new truck. My truck is in the shop, and I'm temporarily in this condo sleeper, which I had thought before that a condo sleeper, as my trainer had talked about it. Oh, by the way, I was doing my breathing exercises. That's why I'm laying here like this. Just getting ready to make my coffee in a few minutes and hit it. But yeah, I thought the condo sleeper was like just the sleeper with an upper bunk, but I think it actually refers to one that has this sort of cutout above, which is really awesome because there's all that, what I call upstairs storage space. But you don't bang your head because this thing doesn't come out so far. So that's pretty cool. It's really luxurious, and it made me realize how claustrophobic I've been feeling in my other truck. But my truck is just in the shop. It needed a new air dryer. It had a leak in the air dryer, which I noticed a couple of days ago. I had talked about it with a couple of people at the company, and I knew that there were going to be these routine inspections by the DOT this week, and I was due to get an inspection, so I was like, okay, we'll take care of all that at the same time. This is redundant from something else I recorded, so sorry if this is a repeat spiel. But yeah, my truck is at Freightliner, and I brought so much of my stuff into this truck because I knew there's always a chance you think, oh, I'll be back in my truck. They said it would be ready yesterday at the end of the day. No, it wasn't. I am a little bit concerned because it's going to require a little extra arranging to get my stuff all back into my other truck. But I thought, you know what? If I'm stuck in this truck for like 3 days, I want to make sure I'm able to be comfortable and sleep comfortably. But one thing about this truck is I've been in a truck that doesn't have an APU or doesn't have opti-idle. So you just have to run the truck when you're sleeping to keep the temperature controlled and stuff. And I honestly love having the truck running now that I'm used to doing that because it vibrates and it lulls you to sleep. It's like a cradle or something. This truck, because I don't like APUs at all. I think they're always problematic, and I've only had one truck that had one, but it was a newer truck. It was at the reefer company, and I had problems with the APU all the time. They create fumes, and they also turn on and off a lot, and they're loud, so that keeps me up all night. Well, this truck, what's interesting is I thought, okay, I could just run this truck, and I kind of forgot. I didn't even really pay attention to the fact that there was an APU because I was so busy dealing with everything yesterday. It was such a chaotic, kind of weird day. So I had just left the truck running, and all of a sudden I hear beep, and I look over. Didn't I imitate that kind of good? You guys know that if you know that sound, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, that sound creates a feeling of, oh, God damn it, because you look over and you're like, it's counting down, it's going to shut off. It's a idle engine shut off or whatever, shut down something. So it does a countdown and it turns off. And what's funny is at previous companies, like one of the training companies I was at, the one that I worked both dry van for a while and then came back and worked on their flatbed account, their freaking trucks shut off after a minute. It was super annoying. If you want to make coffee or do something that draws a little more power, you can't do that in opti-idle. You have to run the truck. So you'd have to turn the truck on a second time to finish just doing using the microwave or something. This truck, it stays on for an hour. So I didn't realize it even had a shut off. And then it shut down and I was like, oh, damn fighting it because I was like, I'm not going to be able to sleep. So I had to keep turning the truck on during the night. I tried turning on the APU and it was so loud, and I was like, it's weird, okay? I need fan noise. So I turned this thing up, and that I can sleep with. That combined with the running of the engine. It's just loud enough of a fan noise. But the APU doesn't allow you to have that because you're using a different HVAC system and it's much quieter. But the APU is loud as fuck. So it's like, and then this is like, and it does not work for me. I hate the fact that I'm that sensitive to sound when it comes to like, I need this amount of sound to sleep. Are you like that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Sensitive light sleepers. It's really rough when you do a job like this and you only have like 6 hours to sleep on average, and you need every minute of that sleep. You have to do what you have to do to make it as comfortable and like continuous as possible. So I got up maybe like 5 times to restart the truck last night. I was amazed that I actually slept through times when the truck had shut off. I couldn't believe it. But then another little beep will go off to let you know that like, hey, I need some juice. And you're like, oh. So speaking of juice, let's get some wake up juice. It's coffee time. Coffee time is happy time. Everybody knows that. I sing that song to myself. It's a little song I sing. Okay, I will catch you guys later. Hello from the end of my day. I'm using my boots as a tripod because I'm too lazy to go inside my truck again to grab an actual tripod. It's a really lovely kind of gray evening here in Missouri, misery. I feel like I need to keep emphasizing that. It's mean. But I don't say that because like I hate Missouri. I say that because I hate Missouri weather. It feels like it's always just a gross humidity. And today it's cool and breezy, and you would be able to tell that if I had more hair, but maybe see some blades of grass blowing in the wind there. That's kind of nice. And the sky is gray in a way that I'm finding very calm and relaxing. It was raining at my pickup earlier, and I had to wait in line, and I closed my eyes for a few minutes while I waited, and it was just nice and peaceful, and I really needed that. I was just thinking about a little story I was going to tell you guys. Not really a story, but just a little moment. Yesterday I was at the Freightliner dealership to take my truck in. I was walking out to like switch trucks and do all that, which is such a hassle. I moved so much stuff. Okay, wait, stop it. I'm telling a story I already told. This is a short story. I don't need to make it long. I'm just really tired, so I'm having a hard time like getting to the point. Let's get to the point. As I was walking out through the glass doors, it's this big building, you know, and through the glass doors, this man appears, and he's this older man. He's probably close to 70, I would guess, and he looks perfect. He looks like he walked off a movie set. He looks like your idea of a trucker from like the early 80s maybe, or like the late 70s. He's got really nice clean Wranglers on, and everything about him is clean and together, and like he's slim, his clothes fit nicely, he's wearing boots. I didn't see his boots, but I knew he was wearing boots. The picture in my mind, I think he had some kind of a hat on. Maybe it was like a smaller kind of cowboy hat. He looked like a character in a way. He had a vest and a long sleeve button down shirt, and he looked so nice, and it just struck me. I was like, this is a trucker. This is an old school trucker man, you know? And it gave me this like happy vibe of, I don't remember what my dad dressed like when I was a kid when he was a truck driver, but I'm gonna guess, I just remember him having jeans that were sort of like boot cut. And what's funny is he still had those same jeans for some reason when I was in high school, and I started wearing them because they fit me at that point, and I thought I was super cool because I had some boot cut jeans before they had started really making them, and this was like after the tight rolled jeans era and like before the low rise boot cut jeans. Sometime in like the mid 90s, like I'm thinking 94, 95-ish, because I was a junior in high school. I was wearing my dad's jeans because I was cool as fuck. I mean, I was cool for like a minute. Anyway, I was cool for a band geek. It was a relative kind of cool. But yeah, I saw this guy, and he was walking in as I was walking out, and I didn't even think. I just said, "You look so nice." And in this deep, lovely voice with this little bit of a drawl, he said, "Well, thank you." And he had this, I can't say it right, he had this really nice deep voice
with this just like little bit of a twang. And I was like, are you from a movie? But you know, it made me think about how you don't see those kind of guys out here too often, but you do see them. And I always think those guys must really just must shake their heads, because there's this whole culture of like, okay, now this is turning into a longer story. For the second time in recent months, I would say, yesterday I was at a place I deliver to, and there was a guy at the drink station getting himself, he was washing dishes in the sink, I want to say, and I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that half of this man's ass crack was hanging out of his pants. Okay, half of his ass crack. It was a health code violation. And I've seen this one other time, and the lady that was working there, she was like cleaning something or stocking something, and she was like, yeah, his shorts are like messed up. And I was like, yeah, and I said something really snarky because I was very irritated. But she very kindly and with sensitivity, more than I had in my person at that moment, I saw her walk over to him and lean over like close to him to probably tell him. I don't know how that worked out. I'm just like, how can you not feel the breeze on your fucking butt crack? I saw this one other time, and maybe this was more like 4 or 5 months ago, I don't know, but this guy was like at the fuel desk checking out. And like whoever was behind him in line just had to see, and literally half his ass was hanging out. And I just wonder, I'm like, if you don't know that your pants are halfway off, you're definitely not doing other sanitary practices in your life. And I can't be in the vicinity of you, because I'm freaking out. I'm not that OCD, but that was gnarly. So yeah, that's the contrast. That's the extreme other end. It's not always like that, but you see a lot of guys out here with sandals, which I can't with the sandals, and just really dirty clothes and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to shame people, because there's a lot of people out here that are running really hard and they are barely making any money. They're struggling, and they're maybe depressed because this job can be very isolating and punishing. And I feel that, and I feel compassion for those guys. So I'm not just trying to hate on them or like make fun of them, but I think about what these old school truck drivers with their, like, this impeccable man, he just looked so good. And it was just such a cool little moment between us. It made my day to see him like that. I was like, it made me think of my dad, it just, he had this sense of pride. And whatever truck he was driving, which apparently would have been a Freightliner, and maybe if he's going to the Freightliner dealership, I'm sure his truck was impeccable too, and I'm sure he does good work and takes pride in what he does. Oops. Well, so much for the boot tripod. I'm sure he takes pride in his work, and it's really nice to see an old school gentleman like that out here. So just giving props to him. I wish I could have chatted with him for a minute or something. That's it. That's enough. I didn't really stretch a whole lot. I just yammered. I stretched my freaking jaws per usual. All right, I'll catch you later.